Hello, Aslam ji. It is absolutely a pleasure to meet you, and I think this is the first time we are recording some conversation. So always we meet and we exchange positive vibes. But it's the first time we are exchanging, a kind of a conversation in a video, and that too in a breakfast. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you. What's very interesting for me is two things. One, you're spending almost like 3.5 hours in the morning hours. I thought usually every time you spend time in KBR Park, maybe 1 hour. But I think it's almost like 3.5 hours that you're saying me.
Yeah, almost
3 hours?
3 to 3.5 hours every day.
3.5 hours?
Yeah.
And can you little elaborate, like what is exactly that you do in this 3.5 hours?
So basically I have a very different lifestyle. So the purpose of life is very different. It's very different areas. So my day starts at 3:33 a.m. So
And every day?
Every day.
It's been from how many years? It's been like that?
Almost about 6 years now.
6 years?
6 years. So
Okay.
I get about 3:33 a.m.
Okay.
And I go for meditation for almost about, because that's a Brahma Muhurta. 3:33 a.m. is a Brahma Muhurta. So when you do meditation at that time, it's a very powerful time. And whatever you want to achieve in life, I think that's the best time to achieve, or to think, or to visualize. So almost I do a 1 hour meditation morning from around 3:33 a.m. to around 4:35. And I do my freshen up and everything. And 6 o'clock, I'm in Tibetan. I start around 5:35 from my home.
Okay.
6 o'clock, I'm in Tibetan. So 6 to 9 for 3 hours, we start the stretching exercise, and we do walking for about 8 kilometers. And when we do meditation and yoga. So that 3 hours is the kick for the day. There's inspiration for the day. You are ready with your mindset to see the day as a very positive day. And I think whatever today we are, it's all to that routine of life. Getting up morning at 3:33, going to bed at 9:30 in night. So maintaining this lifestyle of regular and respectful lifestyle has given a lot of different dimension to life.
You get to spend more time with yourself also.
Oh yes, oh yes.
More time with yourself.
Yes.
And I think sometimes you forget all that, professional activities.
Oh yes. This is only
The
for
business
our soul.
activity.
Yeah.
Completely, you are completely grooved into yourself. That's
Oh,
a
yes.
grooving time, I guess.
Exactly.
More into your grooving time. Well, all your buddies, your best buddies. One thing I wanted to ask you is, all your best buddies, you are aware that they have all been a part of my workshop. And
So I would say all my buddies are great entrepreneurs, great human beings. They come with a lot of positive mindset, and all my friends, they are successful entrepreneurs of Hyderabad, other part of the city in India. It's all due to the positive vibration what they get from each one of us. So we generally meet every quarterly. We meet, we discuss, we share our ideas. So I feel like having a group of friends who are like lifetime friends, coming with a positive mindset, and we share our problems, we share our issues, we try to come with a solution.
main thing I have found is, the significance of constantly learning and reinventing yourself. Like, see your business. I'm sure the way you did your business, you're like into construction from almost like now, how many years?
15 years?
15 years. But the first project that you have done and now the project that you're executing, you might find a significant difference in your approach, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And do you think it's also largely because of the mentoring and the coaching aspects which has gone into, the grace which has gone into by various people, like your friends, your best friends, they take coaching from me, they take coaching from Tony Robbins, they take coaching. You've also taken, I believe, you also gone to Tony Robbins.
So,
Yes.
I have been to Tony Robbins training program in Singapore. More than that, I have a mentor and guru where I have gone for training for almost about 6 years. His name is Diwakar Raula. I think I dedicate whatever today mindset I have, or wherever I have reached today, all that comes from the learnings of what we received from Diwakar Raula.
I feel that really, that's amazing, because tomorrow is Teachers' Day.
Yeah. So I
And,
would say dedicate this all success to that sir, who has changed the mindset, who has changed the complete.
That man, surprisingly, Aslamji, does not have one photograph. Rarely I find of him in the internet. No website, no
nothing.
YouTube videos, absolutely nothing. But many of my clients, like Mr. Malik, building blocks, huge. Mr. Indrasena Reddy is also part of that. Of course, several people. I think I have around 15 to 16 people who have been mentored by him, who have been a part of my workshops, and they all have something extremely positive to share about that gentleman.
Oh yes.
I mean, he was the person who has set the infusement of coaching and its relevance in people's mind, I feel. Is it true? Is it true to say so?
Very true. The thing is that he comes from a different philosophy of life. He doesn't think log kya bolenge. He comes from the mindset, you have a clear goal in life, you should know how to hit that. Simple. He's a very focused personality, and he teaches us the lifestyle management, thinking management, and how you can achieve what you want to achieve in life through scientific approach.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I would dedicate, tomorrow is Teachers' Day, so I would dedicate my life to Diwakar Raula.
Very
Whatever
nice.
I'm today,
Amazing.
I would say, is due to his teachings.
No, that's what I love about people, and especially students, is generally, when you go to a particular coach or a teacher, you generally tend to, the coach becomes insecure and they do not want to let go of the person. So you have funnels, you take a person to 1x, then you show another program, then it is another program, so 3-4 levels. But all his students, they have attended multiple programs, and probably he has never restricted. And I have seen that in myself also, that I have never ever created a cult around me.
And that is the right way to see that your students grow in life.
Because you have been I think we know each other from almost 5 years.
Oh yes, more than 5 years. No, your teachings, whatever feedback I get from all my friends, peer group, is amazing, no doubt. Whatever value teachings you are able to impart to this group of friends is amazing, no doubt in that.
No, because I feel businesses today, especially the real estate sector, is a completely unorganized sector in a very large way. Though it is transformed in a very powerful way, still it's quite unorganized. And what I loved, especially because I said this, how you did 15 years back and how you're doing it now, it's a phenomenal difference.
Oh yes.
And reinventing yourself, reintegrating yourself, coaching, enablement, everything plays an extremely vital role.
It's a lifelong education.
So one which I was very impressed, like when I met you yesterday at the office, was people don't take so much of effort in designing a pamphlet, and your pamphlet was like almost a book. I said, Aslam ji, रहने दीजिए, आपके पास ही रहने दीजिए. You send a digital thing. So this is very good that you are carrying a user experience for the first time. And when you create user experience, naturally you can increase the value, right?
So we are in a league of creating something which is luxury, smart and extraordinary. So we are building a project which is not an ordinary project. It is something extraordinary with luxury amenities and facilities, which is need of the time.
Very true.
It's purely a smart project. So we are very clear we will do something which can really create impact in the lifestyle. So the way we have designed our project, so when we're designing, I was on a table thinking if I'm going to stay in that project, what I will be requiring. So when you design a project or a flat, we always see that it is for me. If I'm going to stay there, what I will be expecting that project. So I would say that project at the Hivision Heights is one of the luxury and smart projects in North Photography. So we have collaborated with Tata Projects. Tata Projects is our partner in the project. So construction management service is done by Tata Projects, and right from the planning, designing and execution is the responsibility of Tata Projects. So we are proud to associate with the brands who have that experience to execute any complex project.
And that shows the beauty that the art of delegation.
Exactly.
Like, there's no need to do everything on yourself. Rather, delegate it to the best people and do the best services to your clients. Because at the end of the day, fulfillment of the promises becomes the greatest challenge in the industry. Like, there have been many projects where it has, burned their hands, they now got it handover also. But all your projects, you handed it over and then 6 months before in time. So that was like,
So for us, Karthik, it is not about making money. We are doing quite project with building a legacy for next generation to come. So we are committed, whatever we do, we commit what we can do. But we don't commit. That is good. That's a part of life. That's the philosophy of life. So that's our fundamental core values on which we believe to the business.
and it was very clear basically, a few things I observed, post the camera I will share it with you, because it's like more into strategy. It's so beautifully implemented, especially, right from the touch, like, given that elevation of that feel of that company, when you touch you're feeling.
Yeah.
So right from the experience, have you created any kind of experience center?
We have at our side. We do have side.
Okay.
We do a presentation hall. We did a presentation about the project. And we are in the process to build a model flat also. Oh, very soon it will be the model flat also.
Okay. That is like amazing. So, yeah. And one very vital thing which I am observing in the sector of real estate is from being unorganized to being organized. See, many people, especially, in India, they say almost if you are earning more than 25,000 rupees, I just read in a recent statistics that you are among the top 10%. Because facts and facts, this is real. This is the reality. Now, undocumented can be many. That there is. So I am not considering this figure of this 10% to be anywhere genuine, because there will be many people, nevertheless said than then, there are lots of rural population migrating to urban population, and considering the placements and considering the intake, basically, packages. Earlier the packages were around 6 lakh rupees in tier 2, tier 3 colleges.
Right.
Now it's almost like, 10 lakhs, 12 lakh rupees per annum. Nowadays it has gone to about 20 lakhs to 22 lakh, 22.5 lakhs. Recently, it was being shared. And one of my very good friends, who is also a director in Triple IT, the placements. So Mr. Prasad was also telling me that the placements packages, like very good, very, very nice. So therein, when people want to invest, because in India, house, first thing, which a middle class aspirant is looking at us, a house, a quality house. And that is the place where, they're inviting people. So they buy houses to live there, to invite people. It's like a celebrational point.
It is a pride. It's a pride for the family.
So the brain releases this chemical of serotonin, and oxytocin, dopamine, everything infused in that particular place. And the greatest challenge in the form of cortisol, and they say cortisols are also there, the stress busters that comes is, when they want to buy a land and construct it. Because they say, okay, good quality construction today, when people do research, they know it is going to be about 1,500 bucks. They can actually make a good, decent quality constructions happening. So why don't I buy a plot and have an independent house? Then the challenge basically comes at the moment in across India is about the ambiguity in terms of payments, in terms of the transparency, which comes as a big challenge. And that's where I find the key is an apartment, because here you don't have any ambiguity.
Yeah.
Here you do not have a lack of transparency.
Yeah.
All that they have to be aware of is whether the builder is the reputation of the builder, the track record of the projects done. Just see who are the people who are on board.
Post RERA, it has become very transparent for the customer to buy a property. There are strict norms now in the place. So the builders who are not ethical have gone out of this market. Very few builders would not be following ethics. The system has been placed by the government, which is good for the customers. Where ready for the part of timely delivery, part of legal check. So the process becomes quite simple now.
What do you think is the option for people who are today nowadays, the youngsters? I'll give you one classical example before we finish. Around 20 years back or 30 years back, if someone is getting placed, all that they will be thinking of is taking care of their parents, because there's a liability, there's a loan and everything like that. And then they never had a house, they never had that financial freedom. That your kids, the kind of financial freedom they have today may not be the kind of financial freedom that your grandfathers during those times might have had. I'm sure you would have also seen some challenging times, and
I come from a very poor family. My father was a farmer.
Okay, yeah, you so aware. So that will take a huge volumes.
So for us, like, our kids have not seen everything in life. We have seen the rock bottom of life, and whatever we are today is due to the business of God and due to the hard work and commitment.
I understand that. So I was saying this that today's generation who's getting placed, they are not coming out with the loads of responsibilities that the previous generation had, and therefore they have that freedom of choosing to invest.
Yes.
Rather than taking liabilities, they are choosing to invest.
True.
So in investments, basically, in the safest forms of investments, they have one, the fixed deposits, which can't beat inflation. Two, that essentially comes as the index funds, or balanced debt funds, different kinds of options that they get into. Third comes as the real estate sector, right? And in real estate sector, one of the greatest advantages is you have the bank which pays almost 90%, I guess.
Almost even 80 to 85% of the loan.
Yeah. I'm completely against taking a loan, personally, and I feel the people who have saved money, they can upfrontly, go ahead and make the investments, because they're ending up paying almost double to the bank.
Yeah.
So rather than that, invest that money at a safe place. And anywhere, for the 10 years, this property value has to be going up, because the bank will only find value then. And post that, it goes down. So instead of selecting an apartment which is 10 years or 15 years old, I think it is more valuable and an intelligent decision to buy an apartment which is new.